Hey everyone, today I will be reviewing a car auxiliary power splitter to replace my previous one. It features 3 sockets, each of which can be individually turned off, and 4 USB-A ports. Before I take it out of the box, here are some of the warning verbiage. One thing to note is that it's rated at a max of 60 watts per socket, so you don't want to be charging, say, a very high powered laptop. And then here's some of the specs around the USB ports. They can come in a few different colors, but I chose black and I got it off Amazon. So opening up, you first greet it with the user guide and 2 extra fuses. There are also 2 extra 3M stickies. And finally, the star of the show, here's the actual power splitter. So you can see there's actually a little button that you can depress here that will show the voltage coming out of the auxiliary port, which is handy to check if your battery is operating normally or not. It comes with this removable mount that already has 2 3M stickies applied, so you can easily slide the splitter in and out of the position if you needed to. The cable is really long, it's 1 meter long, so you can actually even situate it or mount it in the back seat if you wanted to. You can see the disconnect buttons for each of the 3 sockets there, and if you do plug it into the power source, they do have a blue LED ring around it so you can tell if it's on or not. And even if you can't see the button itself, the light actually does still shine through at the bottom of the socket, as you can see here. And you can see both of these USBs on the top can output at 2.4 amps each, but a maximum of 3.1 amps together. On the side, there's another 2.4 amp socket and then a quick charge 3.0 USB port. So I wanted to install mine as I did with my old splitter, which was between the passenger seat and the center console. I used the sticky side against the center console, which allows it to stay put a lot easier. My center console is textured hard plastic, so if it's attached on its own, I found that it was pretty easy to get dislodged, at least with my previous splitter, and these stickies really don't work very well unless it's attached to a very smooth surface. So this is just where I've been situating my splitter. And from this you can see that it can be a little bit awkward to plug in the side USB ports. Like I plug in my dash cam as well as my wireless charging phone mount to it. And then I normally leave the other 2 USB ports open for visitors or passengers to charge their devices. As for the sockets, I always keep my Bluetooth FM transmitter here because my car is a little bit older. It doesn't have built-in Bluetooth, so that's permanently situated in here. But the other 2 sockets I generally leave open. I would use them occasionally to say use my air compressor for pumping up my tires, or using it to charge something else that would use an auxiliary power outlet. So normally they'd be switched off as indicated by no blue light in the socket. The ability to turn off the power to each of these sockets was really what sold this product to me when I was browsing dozens and dozens of these power splitters. Because my old one, it started to not work, and I'm guessing because previously I was plugging in USB charger ports that I would pretty much leave unused for the most part just to prevent any dust or debris from getting into the socket. But because there was no way to turn off individual sockets, I think over time it just kept on corroding until the contact point was no longer useful. The other feature I do like is the removable mount, so I can just easily slide out the power splitter if I really wanted to. And with how I situated my mount, it definitely does help with accessing the disconnect buttons. So I've been using it for a solid 3 months now, and it's been working fine for my needs. I'm not a super heavy power user. I just mainly wanted it for the ports and to kind of relocate the outlet away from my gear shifter. But I did notice that the actual socket size was a little bit more narrow, so some of my adapters that I tried to plug in were a little bit difficult to actually get the alignment for it to work properly. It took me a couple tries. And I also do kind of wish that in this day and age that it included a USB Type-C port. But my fix right now is to plug in an adapter with a USB Type-C port using one of the 3 sockets. So if you're looking to make your power needs a little bit more flexible, this might be a good option.